David Smith here with one more Flip Classroom math video. 3 tips before we start. First, remember that you can slow down or speed up the playback if that helps you follow along. Second, you could turn on the captions and watch my words go by on the bottom of the screen. And lastly, you can pause the video at any time to catch up with your notes or think about the topic. Woohoo! I just hit 500 subscribers this week. Woohoo! Thank you to everybody who subscribed to my channel, who've watched my videos, who've left likes and comments. I so appreciate all of you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Today's lesson covers the sums of finite geometric series. Remember, sequences are talking about terms and formulae. Series are talking about sums of various sequences. So we've done the sums of arithmetic sequences. Now let's do geometric. Here are your formulae. They're very similar. You have 2 different formulas you can use. Pretty much they both work in every instance. You have the first term times r to the n minus 1 over r minus 1, or you can just flip these 2 parts and do u1 times 1 minus r to the n over 1 minus r. Now remember here, this is not r to the n minus 1. This is r to the n, then minus 1. So make sure you do that. Let's do a problem. Here we go. Find s sub 10. That means find the sum of the first 10 terms of this sequence, 3, 6, 12, 24, all the way up to u10. Now, of course, you could figure out all the 10 terms and add them up, but this is much quicker. Plus, I could have said S100, and you would just definitely want to use the formula. So go ahead, pause the video, do your plug-in step for this function, and then come back. Okay, so here's the plug-in step. U1, which is just 3, times r to the 10th, because we're doing the 10th term. R in this case is 2. We're multiplying each term by 2 to get the next term. So it's 2 to the 10th minus 1 over 2 minus 1. So if you haven't already crunched the numbers, go ahead and finish this one and find out what the sum of the first 10 terms is. Okay, I crunched my top here and I got 3069. 2 minus 1 is just 1. So this ends up being the sum of the first 10 terms of this sequence is 3069. All right, here's another one. Find S7, sum of the first 7 terms of this sequence. 8, negative 4, positive 2, negative 1, all the way to U7. So pause the video, use your formula, do your plug-in step, do the algebra, and solve. All right, this one might have the prompt, show your answer as a fraction. So instead of converting all these things to decimals, I'm working the fractions here, and you want to practice that because fractions can be tricky and you want to be up on your game for that. So here's what I did here. Negative 1/2 to the 7th power is 1 over 128, negative. So that's all I simplified on the top. I'm still subtracting 1, and then 1/2 minus 1 is minus 3/2. So that's a first step, preserving fractions. Then I'm combining these two. So minus 1 over 128 minus 1 is 128 over 128. So I have minus 129 over 128 on the top. And I just brought my minus 3/2 down because I can't simplify that further yet. Now I've got this 8 here. So what I'm doing is I'm going to multiply across on the top, and I get minus 1032 over 128 over minus 3 over 2. So now I have a fraction over a fraction. I can flip and multiply. So if you didn't get this far, catch up in your notes and then solve this one. So before I do this multiplication, I'm going to cross cancel because 2 over 64, or 2 over 128 is the same as 1 over 64. So I can cancel that down and make that more simple. And then also 3 goes evenly into 1032. So 1032 over 3 is 134 over 1. So now I have simplified that down quite a bit because on this side I have 1 over 1. So now I've got minus 344 over minus 64. Remember, keep track of your negatives. I've got 2. I've got 1 on this fraction and 1 on that fraction. So that means I'm going to have negative on top and bottom. Of course, that's going to cancel out and make the answer positive. And indeed, you can reduce this down. 8 divides evenly into both of these. So we get 43 over 8. Whew! That's a lot of fraction work. Now that you've watched the video, jot down a couple notes so you can ask questions at our next class. Remember that you can also watch the video again just to deepen your understanding. Lastly, if you enjoyed the video, please click like and subscribe.